Alright, well, time for a little show and tell video. Kaboom! That's that little light you see there is because light's hitting from back there. It's not bent. But how about I explain what I'm doing? This is my amp rack over here for the right side. Had to shape this thing. I just cut it with the jigsaw and also with the you see how snug it is in there for me to take this thing out? It's extremely snug. Let's see if I can get this past the speaker box and everything going on in here. That's my piece right here. So let's just flip it over again. That's the amp board. So the amp's going to be sitting right there. Amp is almost as long as this fucking board, my bass amp. It's going to be sitting there. All the nice wiring and shit. There's going to be a vertical brace member glued behind this, and that vertical brace member is going to have some dual rods that are going to go back into the trunk here. This might be tough to see, but there we go. You see that right there and right up there? Those are can I turn on the light while I'm videoing? Let's see if this is that good. No, it's not. Anyway, it's going to be two rods coming out of there. One rod here, one rod there. I'm going to do bolt and washers onto that vertical brace, which is going to be glued to this here, and there's going to have two holes to allow those bolts to stick out but yet be flush or be underneath this plane here in order for me to install the amp, and you guys will see. Alright, my people, so here's a video of where I'm at with this. It's coming out pretty fucking awesome. So this is it right here. I'm gonna have to turn this shit around this way, but this is how it's happening. Let's see, maybe that light doesn't help as much as I thought. Or let's put it down here. Alright, so this is what's happening there. I'm sure you could see a little bit. That's going to be the amp rack. These rods right here go to the body. So you can see on this side. I might have to do this video differently because I'm going to do this different. Alright, so as you can see, that's where the amp is going to be mounted. One right there. These rods, they go back to the body. As you can see on this side, these are these two things right here. Those are going to bracing inside the trunk, and these rods go to it. I'm going to be adding washers here, and just because of the nature of the length that I cut these rods, I can stick them in as much as I want without hitting the body here. Pretty sure I won't. So I can stick these in and they're flush over on here, and then I'm going to cover up those holes. I don't know, maybe I leave them. I didn't really cut them that great. Did them with a jigsaw because I didn't want to spend any more money on this shit, and don't want to get one of those holes that cuts, like for example holes for doors, door hardware and door panel. So anyway, that's how it's coming along. I'll take this off so you guys can see how this works. So this comes out. That's of course going to be bolted with large washers, and this here comes towards me, and let's put this back here. That's my trusty light. Let's grab this. So you can see that this board is essentially fitting snug. As you can see how I marked the ground here, it's fitting snug all along the interior, coming up and along that side. So really all I just need is this bracing in the center. There's a board that's attached. I think it's like a 1x3. Let's see, or maybe it's a 1x4. Anyway, that's attached to the back of this thing. These are the holes that allowed the washers to be installed and the bolts, and this is all going to be absolutely flush for my large amp to mount to this thing. So there you go. Alright, so this proved to be a lot more challenging than I thought it was going to be to get behind this this framing on the trunk where there were already holes, and I think it was maybe for some sort of netting or something, which is, if you could see them, these things here, there's one and there's the other. So took these things out. These connect to metal in the back, and I'll show you right now on this side what I did, and it's about to all install. I just wasn't able to get it as tight as I would have liked, but I think it's still all right. I just hope the bass doesn't loosen it. It probably will after some time, so I'll have to figure out something else. Oh well. So here it is on this side. Here are those 2 bolts sticking out, which are going to be attaching to this thing, which is going to be the amp rack. That's already contoured, just like the trunk on this side. And it's eventually going to happen on this side too. So just so you see what I'm talking about, you know what, I don't even want to fuck with that. I'll just put this carpet all back in here. But basically, if I remove all of this, you just see the outer shell of the trunk, you see the inner structure, and part of the inner structure is a piece that goes up and down, has a hole there, has a hole there. Right here behind this is the tail light, so this actually humps out. And I'm gonna put this piece in right now. Let's see if I can put this piece in while I'm speaking my piece to this shit. All right, come on, go back. Stay right there. All right, let's see if this really worked. You guys can see real time with me if I did this shit right. And let's put some light in here, so I'll bring this back, set this up right here, and all right, let's see what we have. Obviously that needs to go through there, and this needs to. That's going through all right. All right, so we've got that one going through. That's a good sign. Now this one up here needs to go through too, and it's not playing so nice. There it is. It's kind of trying to, and there they are. There it is. I got it to work. There's the top one coming through. Thank God it's not sticking out. It's staying flush. This is staying pretty flush. I just hope it grabs my there it is. That goes there. This goes here. Fuck yeah. All right, so let's do this right now. Grabbing these things from motherfucking Lowe's. Basically, one of these goes here. Let's hang this back a little bit better. My makeshift light. So let's grab a bolt. Basically, this is how this is working. This is make sure I'm pointing at the right shit, but this goes here. This bolt is going to hold this all together. There we go. Not bad. It's kind of sticking out more than I would have liked, but it actually doesn't matter that much because the amp's not going to be touching where I'm doing this. So let's try this one now. I need to put in a washer. Back to this shit. I already had one here. So let's put this in here. And let's put this bolt on here. And I'm just going to tighten these by hand because this just needs to be snug. I mean, let's see. Put this light back over there like that. All right, there we go. So that's how it looks. I need to clean that board, but the amp is going to be sitting right there along that, like that. And these things, can I tighten them more? I guess I could, but I don't think it really matters. This shit is not fucking moving. I think the more I tighten this bottom one, the more I'm misaligning this. I kind of drew this line here. I don't know if you could really see it, but I think this is it. I think this is god damn. I think this shit's gonna rattle. But anyway. Yep, that's definitely gonna rattle. So I'm gonna have to, I think what I'm gonna have to do is put a rubber gasket before I put these washers on. But that's the main idea. I think it came out alright. You know, again, this is the hump. It's like, why the hell is that shape there? It's because this sticks out right here. But okay. That's as much as I'm doing today. I'm fucking tired, but let's take a look at this from the outside. That's what it looks like. So this side's coming next, and something to brace this box better. This thing's gonna go away. I'm gonna have to put new carpet, some MDF, of course, with a hinge so it can open here so I can still get to my spare. I'm not fucking with my spare. It's staying in the car. And that's how that came out. Not bad. Not bad. Fuck it. All right, so there's my trunk, and here is 1 amp rack done. Obviously got a bulb in there so you can see, but there it is. It's going to be one over there. Then on this side of the trunk, this will have another one. I'm attaching it to these 2 holes right there, which are for some sort of a, probably a trunk, what do you call these things? Something to hold things in the trunk. So that's where these bolts go in through, and right now it's a little disaligned. Like, I guess this would be perpendicular to the back of the trunk, this line here, and I'm a little slightly off, so I'm gonna have to put some washers behind that. But anyway, that's pretty damn solid. So an amp will be going here like that between these 2 bolts long ways, and it's going down. It is going down. Alright, so this is how this is coming out. This is all nicely squared now. Put some washers and bolts behind this board here, so I'm able to control how this is, and it's perfectly flush. Like, I could take, here's one of my squares, and you can see it just goes through no problem. And down here I'm hitting that bolt a little bit, but I don't think I'm going to mount anything flush on top of these things. The amp's really going to be in the center. And now I've made the board for the other side, and here I can really show you guys. I've peeled back the interior lining, this trunk lining, whatever the hell, and you can really see where these holes that I'm working with are. I believe the top one is, it's one of these 2. Damn it, I don't know. I've got it all measured out. I don't know which one it is as far as my measurements going. Here's the other one. So these are where these rods are going through. These rods, I'm cutting them to size, so they're basically they go in as much as they need, and I can adjust it. That's a nice thing, that I can adjust how these go in and out as I'm installing it. But anyway, here's how this is working. I'll just show you guys really quickly how these screws go on here, and I've got the torque set up on these, so I just can't go wrong, and these things are flush. And here I can take these out. I'm just using these as guides, and I don't want to snap these bits, but I'm just using this as just a little guide as I put the first few through. But this is how it's working. This goes behind. This is the bracing. This is what the rods go through, and it allows me to put a washer back here with a nut. Same thing on the bottom. Oh, I just dropped it. And on this side, this is set in so the washer can go in here, obviously sandwiching both sides, and then a nut, and then the bolt doesn't really need to go out beyond this plane here. Same thing happens in the bottom. So just doing these last few screws, and I'm basically done this side. It was just a copy from my stencils. Those are my stencils right there that I used, and you know, you could see how I would stencil this, and when I needed something to come out more, I just drew how much it needed to come out on that side, and I would just draw it on this side. So on this one, I knew that this needed to come out like that, and like that, and like that, before it came back in. And that's how I did this final stencil. And then right here, even this one, this is the one from the final stencil from the right side, and on the left side, really all I need to do is adjust that, make that come out a little bit more, and that's how I cut this piece out of the PVC board, and this is coming out fucking awesome.